So I'm here at GRS Studios with Shereece Storrod, the Artistic Director of Black Voices, and I'm also delighted that she's just accepted our RSL Awards Fellowship, and I'm so thrilled about that, so thank you too. And we're just going to have a little bit of time together to talk about Shereece's work as a singer and her career, and so what I wanted to start with is where did singing come from for you? How did you get going, and what inspired you to start?
I think I come from a very musical family. My mum's always sang, my dad was in the sound system, so everybody in the family's like into music in some kind of way. And I grew up singing in church as a young child, and you know, you had convention, or you had missionary, and you got up to the front and you went and sang your solo, and so it's within me.
So like lots of people who do RSL Awards, Qualifications, you took the brave step of coming on to a formal pop music course, and you did it when those courses were quite new, you know, only 20 or so years ago.
Yeah.
And so what made you make the choice of going to a pop music course as opposed to a conventional music course?
Interestingly, I started on a conventional music course.
Okay.
But I had wanted to come to a popular music course, but for reasons beyond my control, my UCAS form was sent off late, and I ended up just having to go on this conventional course. I did my first year, and I just was deeply unhappy, and I was just like, you know what, I need to do something. And I called you, and I said, Norton, I know that you were full, but my UCAS form was sent off late. By any chance, have you got any spaces? And you were like, coincidentally,
okay,
a few people have left, and a space opened up at Westminster, which was amazing, because I mean, previous to that, I'd been to South Africa with Princess Trust and Rock School, and I'd been on the campus, and I just really loved being there. The facilities, the tutors, and the students spoke really highly of the course, and I had an experience of working with the late Tony Walters. He like directed us, so I enjoyed that time there, and I really wanted to come back. And all that was going through my mind on this conventional course is I really wish I'd gone to Westminster. And then you made it happen for me, so I started my second year at Westminster, and I have to say it was a little bit of a culture shock. It was all very industry based, and you know, it was, you know, there was theory, but it was very much more about your career and how you're going to progress, you know, along the way. And so I spent the first few months just in the library, just reading music journals, Billboard, Music Week, and just trying to get up to speed with, you know, the rest of my peers, because I didn't understand a lot of the jargon that was happening in the lessons. So I just was like, okay, I need to understand this world that I'm in. And yeah, I guess from there, I just really embraced everything that the course had to offer.
Brilliant. So that's great to hear that it had an impact and it was different. What I suppose would be fascinating for me to know is, how did that experience of being on the course help you take some first steps in your career, and subsequently, how have you ever sort of reflected on what you learnt there and how it helped you now?
Well,
good and the bad and the ugly.
I think that anything could happen at Westminster. Like, you could just be there, and it'd be like, you'd come in and you'd be like, Sony want this, they want 10 people, who's available? And it was like, oh. And so it was just like, any day of the week, something could happen at Westminster, and you just had to be ready. And you either embraced the opportunities, or you were like, oh, I don't think I'm ready for it. And I think my first opportunity came from work experience, and you actually got me a paid gig at Harrow Music Service as a vocal tutor.
Yeah. And
then I spent 20 odd years working for them as a vocal tutor, working in schools across Harrow. I led Harrow Youth Gospel Choir, and it's to be fair, it's not something I ever considered doing, being a vocal coach, but I did it successfully for like 20 odd years with the music service, and that led to other things, doing stuff for rock school as a tutor, and it just opened up so many other doors, and might not have been the direction I thought I was heading, but I embraced it, and I just, enjoyed all the opportunities that it brought.
Yeah. Well, I remembered that time, because back then, you're a rarity still, but you were ever more a rarity back then. And for a music service to have the opportunity to have someone with your musicality and skills to go and teach for them, I didn't know it was going to last 20 years.
Yeah.
I guess you didn't,
Yeah.
more than Harrow. But obviously they realised how lucky they were to have you, because there weren't many people with your skills and musical knowledge and background available back then, and now there aren't enough of them, and we're very keen at Rock School to develop lots of people who can do that. Good. So if you were advising the young Shereece today, who's on a Rock School course maybe, or a pop music degree, whether it's in England or Australia or in China, wherever it may be, what would your advice be about them developing themselves as a singer?
I'd just say you got to grab every opportunity and grab every, chance, and, not everything is paid work, but sometimes it's just about getting that good experience. And I think one thing that you always taught us, and something that came through studying performing arts at college, that my tutors always taught me, was say yes to everything.
Yeah.
Because you just never know who you're, rubbing shoulders with. You never know who's listening to your performance, who's reading your CV, and you always impressed upon us, the importance of having a good CV and keeping all those things up to date, and making sure you keep yourself current, and, trying to network. I think my younger self, I would say, take more risks. I think I often regret playing things a little too safe. And I guess you have your own insecurities about your voice and your talent and how good you are, and I just wish that I thought cared less about what people thought, and just done so much more. But grateful for the opportunities that I have had. They've definitely shaped my journey and developed me. And that first opportunity going to South Africa with Rock School and the Prince's Trust, and working with people like Omar, singing backing vocals for Omar, Billy Ocean, Trevor Rabin. At the age of 16, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better experience. So I'd just say, never say no to opportunities, because you don't know what door it's leading to. Yeah,
great, good. So what about tell me about Black Voices. What's the future hold for Black Voices? I know there's all sorts of shows and tours and events.
So Black Voices, we're just continuing to evolve through COVID.
Yeah.
It's been a very reflective time for us, but we've recently developed Black Voices, the show, with a French producer, and that's been going really well. It's obviously stopped through COVID, but it's given us time to really invest in the studio here at Grosvenor Road, and just get things happening here again, get music happening in the building.
Yeah.
So next year we're going to be resident artists of WAC, of Warwick Arts Centre.
Brilliant.
We're already associate artists of Town Hall Symphony Hall. Our online community project, Community Spirit, which is a project with community choirs, has been able to continue through lockdown and offer people some light relief, really, and just a chance to just breathe through everything that's happening. So that's going to continue online next year. and then we're hoping to start our residency at Warwick. It should have started already, but we've got performances, community projects with choirs. I'm going to be getting involved with some young people, maybe starting a youth choir. So yeah, lots in the pipeline for Black Voices.
Brilliant. And the last thing I wanted to ask is really about your work with Black Voices and in education. One of the things that I believe pop music courses do is enable young people to express who they are, what their cultural identity is, and what they're feeling about today and life today. And I just wondered if you could sort of reflect to me on your experience of having done a pop music course and how you managed to do that in your work, and both in the course and afterwards as well, and whether you think that's an important thing that people should learn to do in their music education.
I think it's really important. I mean, like my thesis was about Black oral traditions in music, and it was something that was celebrated, you know, and I feel like on a more conventional music course, I wouldn't have got that support to write such a thesis. And, you know, there was so many different offerings that were happening at Westminster. You know, it wasn't just about, you know, being an artist and getting a deal. You know, there were so many different routes that you could take. And it was important that we had people that looked like us, you know, teaching on the course as well. You know, Keith Harris, Michael Riley. And there was just always a great support network encouraging us, you know, and wanting to know how they can, how you could make our experience better. And I think that was what made the course so unique. And then just, you always encouraged us to work whilst we were at uni, which is something that a lot of other courses frowned upon. I remember being on my first course and needing to go on tour, and it was like a big hoo-ha, like, you know, go on tour? Why? And I got to Westminster, I was like, Norton, I'm going to be going on tour. Great, can we put it on the website? It was just a different energy, because you were preparing us to work in the industry, you know, you were preparing us for employment. Learning is great, but what do you do with the learning afterwards? And I think that's what made the course, or popular music, what makes popular music courses stand out, because they're preparing you to work within the industry, however that, whatever shape or form that takes.
Wonderful. That's the quote that's going to go on our website that you've just given us, and thank you. And thank you for all you're doing with Black Voices. I hope we can collaborate together with Black Voices and RSL Awards in the future, and we are so honoured and proud that you have become one of our fellows, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good.